So we still continue with government intervention. We're going to government intervention to correct externalities. Externalities could be positive or negative. But why do we have externalities? We have externalities because our private cost is different from our private benefits, which means our social. So because we have our social benefit or social cost, the difference between the social cost and the private cost is the externality. Individuals will make decisions, firms will make decisions, government will make decisions. Whatever decisions that we make that have impacts to the society or to the third party, that is externality. Because we said cost, we say social cost. Social cost equals to private cost plus external cost. This is social cost. So the difference between this and this is externality. Do you get it? Yeah. Because social cost, when you collect lifetime, social cost will be minus private cost, give us external cost. So whenever we have differences between the social cost and the private cost, it brings about externality, social negative externality. And if we have difference between the private cost and the private benefit and the social benefit, we have external benefits. A positive benefit or an external benefit is positive. External cost is negative. But both of them are externalities because they are the difference between the private and the social. Do we get it, please? So that's about externality. So whenever there's externalities, especially negative externalities, what will government do? So for externalities, we have production externalities, we have consumption externalities, which means negative production externality, negative consumption externality, positive production externality, negative or positive consumption externalities. So whenever we have these externalities, what should government do? Government have to intervene because we're talking about microeconomic intervention. So I'm going to read further. Externalities occurs as a result of differences between the benefits and costs of the society to the individuals who make the decision. Individuals could be me, could be you, could be government, could be firms. In as much as someone is making a decision, any economic agent is making a decision that affects the society, it brings about externality. I could make a decision that is beneficial to the society, positive externality. I could make a decision that is negative to the society, that is harmful to the society, negative externality. But if whatever decision I make affects only me, that is private. But in as much as it's affecting third party, it becomes externality. Do we get it? So what are the situations that bring about this? What are the situations that bring about externalities? The first one is negative externality in production. In the course of producing a good or service, we could have negative externality. In the course of consuming goods or services, we could have negative externalities like cigarettes. In the course of producing goods, we could have positive externalities. In the course of consuming goods, we could have positive externalities. So we have positive externalities for production, positive externality for consumption, negative externality for production, negative externality for consumption. So we're going to start with negative externalities for production. Production means we are creating a good or a service. Example of a negative externality could be pollution. I use pollution here. Where pollution? Okay, here. There's pollution. It's a negative externality because we are producing a product that brings about pollution. So I wrote negative externality in production. It's a harmful cost imposed on third parties, the society, who are not part of the production process. We are not part of the production process, but we are inhaling carbon emission, carbon emitted from industries. We're not we're not the owner of the business. We're not part of the production process. But whatever carbon emitted to the society affects us from the production of certain goods. That is negative externality and it's a market failure. Harmful cost imposed on third party is what? A market failure. Because it's a cost on us that we are not part of the decision making. If we are part of the decision making, it's a private cost. But in as much as we are not part of it, and it's giving us a negative impact, it becomes externality. Are you guys here?
Yes.
I just hope. Do we get it? So I'm going to use a graph to explain. So this can be graphically represented as this. Why do we have externalities? We have externality because the marginal social cost is greater than the marginal private cost. This is negative externality. Marginal social cost is greater than marginal private cost. So that means the marginal social cost of consumption, of production, is greater than the marginal private cost of production. That is an externality.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If MPC is larger than MPC, does that mean that there was a market external benefit?
No.
If MPC is not
MSC is not about benefit, it's about cost. If MPC is greater than MSC, it is private cost. We don't talk about externality.
So those are but just because of the cost. So the market cost. So what would be the area
The goal of potential is this. In as much as we are producing to bear the cost. And if the marginal social cost, the marginal private cost, is greater than the marginal social cost, it's a private cost. It does not affect third party.
So it doesn't mean the area between them.
Welfare is gain rather than loss.
Okay. I take it.
Welfare is gain rather than loss. It means this is about this.
Yeah.
It's a welfare gain, not a loss. And it's a welfare gain. What we want here is what? A welfare gain, not a loss. In as much as our welfare is lost, it means there's externality. So the point about here is that pollution will bring about negative externality. And the situation about negative externality is marginal social cost greater than marginal private cost. With externality, the quantity supplied to the society will be less than the quantity produced by the society, by the firm. This is the firm. This is the cost to the society. This is the firm. This is the cost to the society. So there is marginal external cost because there is a welfare loss. Please get the point here. MSC is greater than MPC. That's a welfare loss. The difference between MSC and MPC is MEC, marginal external cost. So there's marginal external cost here because welfare is lost based on pollution. And this is the reason why government has to intervene. Do you get it? So as soon as this situation occurs, the next thing is government intervention. So how will government intervene when it comes to pollution? Government can intervene through taxes, through regulations or pollution permits. Here is a situation where we have pollution emitted to the society, which has brought about a rise in the marginal social cost. So there's government intervention. The first one is the imposition of indirect tax. Indirect tax is a tax levied on production. So if you want to reduce pollution, you have to reduce production. So make production become a disincentive for firms. So if firms do not have the reason to produce further, pollution reduces. Because they produce, that's why we have pollution. Yes or no? So government wants to stop the production. And how can government stop production? Government can stop production through imposition of indirect tax. With imposition of indirect tax, the cost of production increases. And because the cost of production increases, based on supply, the quantity supplied would fall because output would reduce. And as long as output is reducing, pollution would reduce. Do you understand the position of indirect tax? So one way in which government can reduce pollution is to impose indirect tax because it increases the cost of production equivalent. And as soon as the cost of production increases, supply reduces because output reduces, population or pollution reduces. That's the first way. The second one is government regulations. For government regulations, government will come up with standards that requires certain amounts of pollution permitted by each firm. So there's always going to be a standard on the amount of pollution you can as a company. But how will government understand or know this? Government would employ government workers to monitor the process and the progress of firms. And that could also bring about government failure. Yes, a lot high cost of administration. Because regulations need what we call compliance. Compliance. So when government comes up with regulation, we have to comply so that government can achieve the objective. But how do we comply if no one is watching us? It's just like in the classroom. You guys could do whatever you like without a teacher. Even with teachers, sometimes you do whatever you like. Not to talk about when there's no teacher. Nobody complies. So it simply means government has come up with a regulation and it has to monitor the progress. In the course of monitoring the progress, government might have to employ more workers. So if government employ more workers, what does it imply? It simply means that government has to pay more than what it used to pay. That means compliance. And that will bring about negative, that will bring about government failure.
Red tape of the
Red tape is about coming up with so much regulations. Bureaucracy, yes. Do we understand the second point here, please? The first one is imposition of indirect tax, which increases the cost of production, which reduces production. The second one is coming up with standards to regulate the amount of pollution each firm can pollute. But this needs government monitoring. Government has to monitor it. And the last one is pollution permit. But for this, the imposition of indirect tax, it will be remitted into government accounts. It will be remitted. It's an indirect tax. You don't pay directly to government. You pay to the firms or to the suppliers. So whatever you pay, it will be remitted into government account. That is the position of indirect tax. The amount of money gained from tax, the revenue made from tax, will be remitted into government account. Government does not get the money from you directly.
What does it mean?
Remitted means paid into.
Okay.
It will be retired into government account. That's indirect tax. But for government regulations, this is done by the government itself with its own agencies. And the last one is pollution permit. For pollution permit, it simply means a tradable permit where we can buy the maximum of what we can use in terms of pollution. Government will provide the pollution permit, but firms have to buy. It's a tradable permit, which simply means if you want to emit carbon, you have to buy carbon. You have to buy a permission. So here I wrote, unlike both regulations and indirect tax, pollution permit is a free market solution as firms can trade their permits. If a firm emits a lower level of pollution, it can sell its peer permits into the market for firms needing more permits. So let me finish first this. With pollution permit, it simply means we buy certain tradable permits. We emit it as soon as we are done with the amount imposed, as soon as we're done with the amount of permits we have, we cannot further produce unless we have a spare from a firm that did not finish using its own. Yes, your question.
My question was, are carbon offsets permanent related?
What?
Are carbon offsets a type of permanent related?
Well, I think it's part of pollution permits. It's a sort of pollution permit. In as much as it's emitted to the society, it's a permit. So what we talk about here is restriction that will, whatever will reduce pollution. That is the point. Carbon emission is pollution.
No, carbon offset basically is how much carbon dioxide you emit to the atmosphere. You have to invest into green projects.
Carbon dioxide, no. Carbon monoxide. It's not carbon dioxide. It's carbon monoxide.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what it is whatever carbon dioxide you are emitting to the atmosphere, you have to offset it by investing into green projects.
You have to pay before emitting it.
No, it's after.
No.
Go after. However much you have emitted the atmosphere, you have to invest later into green projects that will basically remove repeating.
That is something else. But what we're talking about is when it comes to pollution permits, you don't emit first. You buy before you emit. You have to purchase it. You have to purchase before you emit.
Yeah,
So these are ways in which government can reduce pollution. And as soon as there's pollution in society, it brings about market failure. I think externalities is clear. So this is externalities for production. The next one is about externalities in consumption. And we'll go to the positive ones too. Thank you.